Being your true authentic self doesn't have to be as complicated as you may think. I see a lot of people who fall into the loophole of trying to achieve perfection, when simply trying to be perfect will, number one, make you feel overwhelmed because you will always and constantly try to level up some way or another. And two, you will always listen to what other people have to say about you because you will always be looking for areas to improve in. You see, I'm speaking from experience. I've lived a large portion of my life trying to fit people's expectations about me. Although I always did what they wanted me to do because I wanted to fit in so bad, but I just knew I was meant for more than this. I always saw myself as the black sheep, not only within my friends but also within my family. I felt unauthentic and really uncomfortable because I wasn't really expressing my true colors. I would talk just like the people around me would talk. I would dress like them, and I would always try to keep up with the latest fashion trends on TikTok, cool between everybody. And yes, maybe I was doing it because I wanted people to like me more, but deep down I just kept myself limited because I was super afraid of what would other people say about my true colors. I was just afraid that they would dislike me. For example, I was someone who was back in 2021 in love with doing short form vlogging on TikTok, and I would always be scared to ask people to like do skits with me because I didn't want them to think that I'm annoying or I'm stupid or I'm cringe, unless they mentioned the idea of vlogging, because I would always try and repeat the term vlogging around them till someone actually brings it up and be like, oh Yusuf, why don't you do this? So I would do it when they mention it. I've even been doing my best to like get out my comfort zone, and I began to study in various of different topics, but I was scared to share my knowledge and opinions with other people because I didn't want them to think that I'm a nerd. So I decided to keep all my opinions and thoughts to myself on my phone notes. But things are way different now. I express my truth and I do not care what other people have to say about me. I share more of what I'm truly am. And what I discovered is that being authentic actually gets people to like you more, and somehow you become more respected, as I encouraged others to do the same thing that I'm doing as well. They felt more at ease because I wasn't really trying to hide anything, I was just being myself. I also quit trying to please everybody because that was a bad habit that I had since I was a little child. I wanted to make sure that others feel good rather than being someone that I wasn't. And I chose to be myself, and as a consequence, I'm more joyful, I'm more happier, I'm living life to its fullest. So here are 3 things that you need to embody your most authentic self. Number 1, know that you are the writer to your own story. Why fall under other people's opinions when they simply don't matter? Their perception of life should be and must be completely different from yours. Yes, you should agree with some stuff here and there if it's common sense, but other than that, your reality is based completely upon your perception, not theirs. And when you start to think from the perspective of, yes, I am the writer to my own story, and you stick with it for the rest of your life, you'll realize that no one's opinions matters. You are the main character. Doesn't matter what people say. Doesn't matter what people think of you, because they do not have the rights to write a chapter in your own story. You are the author, and you do not read a ghostwriter. Number 2, simply stop caring about other people's opinions. You need to seriously stop giving a fuck about what people think of you. Their opinions are truly, truly, truly none of your business. Quite frankly, their opinions somewhat are very limiting. If I was someone who completely relied on other people's opinions and thoughts, then I most likely wouldn't be record this video because I'll be scared about what they have to say about me. We shouldn't really allow outside influence to sway us with negativity, as their opinions will completely change the moment we become our true self. Oftentimes, you will see people projecting their own insecurities and judgments onto you, mainly as an unconscious mechanism, and it's also because they want to avoid internal problems that they have. When they try to judge you for something or talk shit about you because of something that you did or an opinion that you have, just know it's because they are deep down also judging themselves. So it's much like looking into a mirror. You want to avoid their own problems, so they project them onto other people so they feel good about themselves. That's why allowing outside negative influence to affect you is somewhat like you telling yourself you're not good enough because a bully in high school told you you're not good enough. It's important to find your own inner strength so you can recognize your own worth and you can create boundaries between you and the other types of people. So my advice would be is that the moment you see yourself being affected by other people's opinions, ask yourself these these questions. What do I think about them? And when you ask yourself that question, you will realize that you're actually not impressed or inspired by that person who's affecting you with negative opinions. So it doesn't really matter what they have to say because that person doesn't really matter that much. In summary, why should their opinions matter if you do not consider them highly? Which brings me on to the last one, which is number 3. Practice treating yourself good. You see, don't expect people to treat you good or respect you if you do not show good respect for your own self. Talk to yourself in a nice way. Walk around with your heads up, back straight, full of absolute confidence. Express your thoughts freely, even if they're somewhat controversial, because simply the only thing that matters here is your own self and no one else. Talk to yourself in a good way. Speak very highly of yourself. Keep educating yourself on many different topics so you can gain more wisdom. Therefore, you become way smarter, so people start to notice that about you. Me personally, I used to have talks with myself for 30 minutes straight and completely lose track of time. And what I'll do is that I'll pretend like I'm talking to someone else that's standing in front of me. It could be a friend, a celebrity, a family member, it doesn't matter. And I would try to notice my body language and how I speak. Am I speaking quickly? Am I speaking in a low voice? Am I speaking loud? If my body movement is kind of silly, I will take notes in my head of what I'm doing wrong so I can start to put on better traits and become more confident. So naturally with time, the more I do it, the more it becomes a part of my identity. So I don't really have to fake anything. Take a close look at how you speak, how you express your facial expressions when talking to somebody, because it plays a huge part for people to take you seriously as a person. So get used to having convos with yourself and lose track of time when doing it, and do not think it's crazy or weird. And that's it. That brings me to the end of the video, and all I gotta say is keep your heads up, you are special, and take care.